Thank you very much for your patience. We will start right now. We are starting our plenary session on good practices in transnational shared use of research infrastructure beyond the EUGLOHRIA. And we are welcoming to the stage Anne Wolf, from the Core Facilities Manager from the University of the Medical Center of Hamburg-Eppendorf. Thank you very much. You can start when you want.
You hear me? Yeah. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very happy to present the core facility structure of the Universität Hamburg today here. The Universität Hamburg is it's the regulation, but we don't translate the title, so it's University of Hamburg, but I will stick to the German name. So let me introduce shortly the university. Universität Hamburg is one of the 10 excellent universities in Germany, and it was honored by the federal state for its excellence. And in consequence, the university has some stable funding for research projects. In this case, these are the 4 collections. I don't know, see that? And on the other side, the university gets also a lot of funding for the university infrastructure. And this plays a role later on in the establishment of the core facilities at the university. As you can see, the university has 8 faculties, and the medicine is one of it. This is where I come from. It's a very huge university. It's the hugest university in the northern part of Germany. It has about 44,000 students and a lot of PhD students. And yeah, you see the amount of professors also at the university, and a substantial part are at the medical faculty of them. So also something about the topics handled at the university. The Universität Hamburg defined its research profile in 3 different categories. So the most important ones are the core research areas. And these are the areas where you find the most strategic projects, the hugest alliances, the most activity and the research profile. And you see, we have here 6 research areas, and most of them are also found in the medical faculty. And then the next category are the emergent fields. These are also active research areas at the university, but they don't have so many alliances. They don't have so many really outstanding projects, but they could become at some point core research area. And then the lowest category is the profile initiatives. That means there is substantial hope that out of these initiatives, there come new projects, new alliances, or new research activity. And I also want to say something about the University Medical Center, where I come from, because it's also important to understand the structure, to understand how the core facility system evolved. So you see, I hope you can see it, the University Medical Center has 5 core research areas, which are mainly the same as the university has. The specifics here are that we are on one side medical faculty of the university, so one of the faculties, but on the other side, the medical faculty is closely integrated in the University Medical Center. This means, in consequence, that we get our own budget from the state, and we are kind of independent of the university. For example, we appoint our own professors. It's not the university who appoints the professors, but it's the medical faculty. And this is why, because of this independence and the own money that we had, in 2010, the University Medical Center decided to establish a core facility system for the medical faculty. And the reason behind it, of course, was cost efficiency. It was not, it didn't make sense that all professors had huge instruments in their clinics and institutions. And the other reason was that we saw always that postdocs leaving the university, they took the expertise with them, and there was not a constant driver of expertise at the university. So all the instruments, all the expertise were put together in core facilities, and they were staffed with scientists and technicians. So this system is running since 2010, and I will go into detail a little bit later. And then in 2019, when the university got the status of excellence university, and they got a lot of funding for this status, they decided to use the funds to establish central technology platforms for the whole university. And I will explain and show you what that means. So here you see an overview of all the core facilities which are available at the medical faculty. And they are either very instrument-based, for example, the cytometry facility or the imaging facilities, or they are based on a special expertise that they offer, like the protein production facility or the AI facility. And as I said, they're all staffed, they are professionally managed, and they are all involved in the medical PhD program, because this was also a discussion yesterday. All of these facilities have to offer workshops for the PhD program. And what is also very important to say is that they are regularly evaluated. So after 2 or 3 years, there's a huge evaluation of the facility, and in consequence, we closed facilities already and we opened new ones to see how they are running, because technologies are also always changing. And the newest one which we have right now is the single cell facility, the AI facility, and the protein production facilities, and they will be evaluated next year, and we'll see what their success was. And regarding the Hamburg Technology Platform, so this was actually on the basis of a central strategic framework of the university. They wanted to facilitate the growth within a broader research strategy. And you see 5 platforms were established: light microscopy, mass spectrometry, cryo-EM, also cryo-electron microscopy, electron microscopy, and some kind of clean room technology. And this is actually a very successful approach. They have a central coordinator at the university, and they have a coordinator for each platform. And of course, all platforms are staffed with technicians or scientists. And the goal is to strengthen the competitiveness of the Universität Hamburg. Also, of course, as in the medical faculty, professional operation of the devices, and also to train young and early career researchers in these technologies. So how do we, either at the platform or at the medical faculty in the core facilities, how do we handle requests for using them? Each facility has its own web page, as you can see here, 2 examples, and you can find contacts, or also all regulations for the facilities on their webpage. You can contact them either by phone, email, or some of them have a booking system. If you're already an existing user, you can use the booking system. And the requests are handled based on first come, first served, usually. But of course, we have some special users. If they were involved in the recruitment of the instruments, they get some extra time reserved for their needs, for their research needs. And so far, because this was also a discussion point yesterday, we don't have capacities specially reserved for external users. We can admit them to the facility if there are capacities left, but it's not like we have them reserved up front. So regarding the costs or the charges, for the instrument-based facility, it's pretty easy, because the German Research Foundation, they defined charges for specific instrument classes. which can be handled in core facilities. So these kind of charges are not defined by us, but by the German Research Foundation. And then regarding specific services, the charges are based on costs for consumables, also partially staff costs. And for external users, we see mostly cooperation with internal users. But if it's really a real external user without any connection, there's a quote upfront and full cost accounting. Yeah, and another question was put forward in regard to how we handle the IP rights and scientific results. So all of the core facilities have regulations, policies, which have to be signed by the users. And in these, it's a given that, of course, you acknowledge the facility use in your paper, in your publication, or in your third-party application. Also, regarding co-authorship, we have regulations, but they are based on the good scientific practice. So whenever there is a substantial contribution from one of the team members from the facility regarding the planning or collection, interpretation of data, they should be co-authors, and also they should be involved in the revision of the publication and also in the final approval. And since it was specifically asked how we handle IP rights, I have to say that we didn't have this case so far in any of the facilities. I don't know if it's different in your facilities, but so far it was always fee for service, a service-based approach, and we weren't so involved in the project that you could talk about IP regulations. But if this ever happens, we have specific law units for research at our institutions, which will handle these kind of questions. So I now come to an end already, and thank you very much for your attention. And don't let the pictures deceive you. The weather in Hamburg is usually the same as here in Porto the last days and not sunny. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne, for your very clear presentation. I'll open the floor to a few questions if there are any. No. So thank you. Erika-san.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I guess that you can hear me. I can speak loudly. Thank you very much for this nice overview. It gives us many insight in what you do at Hamburg University, indeed, because this is fully in line, and this is also the reason why you prepared that slide and that message, in line with the discussion that we have had this morning in the daily report, etc. Is there, according to your knowledge, I've already present. Perfect. Sorry. Is there any discussion to your knowledge from, let's say, the vice rector for research or the strategic part of the university to open the platforms to the EUGLO partners, just as though you would do it for internal cooperation? If you have another, because this is the spirit of what we have tried to develop within EUGLOHRIA in the limits of what we can do, because we have many platforms with different course models, etc. But the idea is to collaborate within EUGLO as though we would collaborate with another faculty of our university.
Yes. So actually, at the moment, it's I just presented the status quo. But of course, the system is evolving, and the facilities are open up to external users, definitely, and also to external users within alliances. So of course, I don't know of specific discussions regarding EUGLO, but I know of general discussions about opening up the facilities to other researchers outside, also to businesses outside of the university.
Okay, thank you. And the idea, but this is something that, this is only a starting point perhaps today, but
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you very much for inviting me to give you this alliance, the EUGLOHRIA Alliance. So, our university is divided in 3 campuses. One is in a closed city, Guadalajara, and in this place we are now building a new campus, so we don't have too many
Just 1 minute,
scientific.
please. We're not able to be sharing your screen on the.
Sorry?
Your image is not appearing. Just if you can wait 1 minute, please.
Oh, sorry. Let me. No. Oh, here.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So, I'm sorry. I will say that our university is divided in 3 campuses. One of them is in a closed city, Guadalajara, where we are building now a new campus, so we don't have too many scientific infrastructures in this place yet. The other one is the historical campus that is in the historical city of Alcalá de Henares, and mainly we have there the degrees of the humanities and social science. The third one is the scientific and technological campus that is very close to Alcalá, just 5-6 kilometers away from the center of the city. And here is where we have the most of our scientific infrastructure, and I am going to talk today about them. So in the research and transfer vice-rectorate, we have the following organization. We have a research management service. We have also a research result transfer office, the doctoral school. We have the ethics committee, the library. All of them is under the umbrella of this vice-rectorate. And then we have also a European project office and another different section for administrative work. Today, I will focus only in the infrastructure center where we keep the scientific equipment. Also, in our university, we have different research institutes. We have university research institutes, and we have also, or we are part of health research institutes and other research centers. And as I told you, one of the centers that hold our scientific infrastructure are the research support centers that are going to be the focus on my presentation today. We have 4 research support centers, one high technology homologation center, the medicine biology research support center, the chemistry research support center, and the Center for Applied Chemistry and Biotechnology. And I will try to give you a brief outscope of the equipments that we have in this center and the service that we can offer to the researchers, not only the researchers from our university, but also from other research institutions or from different companies. In the Research Support Center for Medicine and Biology, we have different units inside this support research center. We have a cell culture facility with different equipment, and we have also a molecular biology facility and an electron microscopy facility. In all these facilities, we offer different analysis of different service to researchers, and we operate in two ways. This research support center has the technician staff that can make the study for you, can make the analysis, but in sometimes is the own researcher who use the equipment. So it depends on the work that you want to do. You are able to do it by yourself, or you have to ask for a technician that can make this study. Sorry, sorry. I think it's too many pictures and it go a little bit slow. So also in this medicine biology research center, we have also an animal housing facility where we can perform in vivo studies. We have, I was not sure to put this here, but the truth is that we have a radioactive installation just to perform analysis when you have radioactive samples. That is more, it's basically out of use because usually now nobody use radioactive levels for their experiment. So probably we are going to quit this installation in a near future. And we have also, that probably is not, cannot seen as a scientific equipment, but that is very important for us. We have a scientific photography and imaging facility. And this helps us a lot to the researchers just to get good pictures about, in some of our project, right? So this is it's not a high technology scientific equipment, but it's a very, very good and very useful service for us. In the support center for chemical research, we have also different units. We have the chemical and microbiology analysis unit. We have a mass spectrometry and elemental and thermal analysis unit. We have also a nuclear magnetic resonance unit, the X-ray diffraction laboratory, and again, and in the same that in the last case, we have a unit or a facility that is not highly technological, but is very useful for us. That is a glass workshop where we can repair glassware, or even the researchers can ask for design glass pieces for their experiments. So it's as I told before, it's not a scientific infrastructure, but it's an infrastructure that is very useful for scientists. So these two support research centers, the medicine biology and the chemistry research support center, are basically focused in internal users. So are basically, or the main clients are the researchers of our university, but they are open also to other universities or to companies. This is just some description of the equipment that we have in this center. I can leave the presentation if you want, and you can have all the equipment, but I'm not going to go in detail now in them. So this is the mass spectrometry equipment or the elemental analysis equipment, the nuclear magnetic resonance. We have three equipments, one 500 megahertz and one 300 and one 400. The X-ray diffraction, and the other two research support centers are quite different because they are mainly designed to give service outside of the university to companies or other institutions. They give also service to our researchers, but they are designed more for give support to external services. The first one is the Applied Chemistry and Biotechnology Support Center. Here we have a kilo scale synthesis lab, so we can increase the quantities of the product that are generated in the research processes. As you see, we have reactors up to 20 liters. So as I told you here, we made many work for companies that want to scale up the synthesis of some chemical compound. Even we have a pilot synthesis plant scale. Here we have a reactor up to 30 liters, and sorry, as to 400 liters. So that is a next step that put the compound just on the doors of the commercialization. But also we have a biotechnology scale synthesis lab and a whole facility for chemical analysis. We have, as you see, UHPLC equipment, HPLC equipment, IR, UV. So any equipment that you can need for the chemical analysis that we perform in this center. Here you have a list of the things that we are able to do. In the case of synthesis, we can design a system for drug delivery. We can scale up the synthesis of active principles, etc. So, as I told you, I can lead the presentation so you can see everything that we are able to perform in this center. And the same with the analysis part. So we are able to make very different types of analysis. In fact, in this center, I think that the person that told me before me speak also about this. In this center, we don't have particular fees for analysis. So in the most of the times are common projects with the external user that propose us how to analyze or how to get any result where they have a good interest. So we made not only a routinary analysis, but a whole project, and usually in collaboration with them. And in a different field, but also with a similar interest, is our high technology and homologation center. This center that we call Catechon is usually a center for research and test equipment. So the objective of this center is to carry out research activities, but also test technological equipment, usually related with the telecommunication, electronics, and information technologies. Oh, sorry. The activity areas of this center are basically the electromagnetic compatibility, the measurement of antenna, to check the electrical safety of the different equipments, and also to test the equipments in different conditions, environmental condition, or in different climate or vacuum condition. Regarding to the handling incoming requests for the use of these facilities, last year we introduced a web platform of links where the user, internal or external, had to be registered first, and then he has the access to this platform where he can choose the type of analysis or the type of study that he is requiring. He choose also in the calendar the time where he would like to carry out this analysis and to check the availability of the equipment in the time that he want to use it. And once that the analysis is completed, then the results are put on the platform so the researchers can get the result of that analysis. So this is helping us a lot to have a traceability of the whole process, since the research asks for an analysis or some study, and when we get the result of this study. And regarding to the cost of fees, the truth is that in the routinary analysis, in the routinary use of the equipment, we have usually three price range. One is for internal users, that is the cheapest one, of course. Other one is for outside public research organizations, where we increase a little bit the price of the internal user, and the other one is for private organizations that they pay a little bit more than for this analysis, and these fees are fixed by a user commission that is in every research support center. But I told you that all these centers offer the possibility of personalized service. Of course, when they ask for a personalized service, then we prepare a quote and negotiate the price of this service with the person that makes the proposal. And many times, this service is collected in a research contract between the applicant and the university. So if we use this last formula, so in the case of the contract here, we fix some terms about the IP of the results, not in the rest of the scenarios. But if we sign a research contract, then we put some clause about the IP rights. Thank you very much again for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to show you very briefly a little bit of the scientific infrastructure that we have in Alcalá. Tomorrow, Sandra will tell you a little bit more about our European office projects or our transfer research results office, but we want that you know that all this equipment and all the facilities that we have in Alcalá, of course, are open for the EUGLOHRIA University, and we will be more than happy to share them with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Francisco. I'll open the floor to some questions, if there are any questions for the members of the audience.
Hi, thank you for your presentation and welcome to the Alliance. So I'm Andre Maia and I'm a core facility manager here at I3S from the Porto University. And I have a question for you, if you can answer. That concerning your fees policy, what does cover your internal usage fee? So is your university supporting the research at somehow? Because from internal fees we have maintenance costs, human resources, consumables. So what does you consider as an internal fee? Because then after that you apply percentages on those values.
Basically, the internal fee is established considering the fungible materials. So the things that the costs that we have to afford to make the analysis. So the university pays the equipment, pays the maintenance of the equipment, and also pays the salaries of the technical staff. So out of that, we calculate how it's the cost of the chemicals, of the material that you have to use it to make the study, and in base of that, we establish the fee for the internal users.
So, are there any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much. Next, we have a participation online from Professor Nikola Jorgovanovic, Vice Rector of Science for Science and Art of the University of Novi Sad. Professor, when you're ready, please go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to meet you in this conference and to introduce you with the University of Novi Sad and our facilities. I will share my screen to start.
Professor, if I may ask you to not hold the microphone.
Sorry?
You
I must hold because my microphone is pretty bad.
Oh.
Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, but we also have some interference.
If you lower it, I think we hear well.
Okay, I will start with this presentation. Okay, do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear fine. Thank you.
It's fine now. Okay. I'll stop the screen. Share my. Okay, we can start. My name is,
Professor Nikola, you can please.
Vice Rector for Science and.
Professor Nikola, if you can please switch on the video so we can see your face.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. It's okay? Okay, we can start now. Yes, I'm a Vice Director for Science and Art at the University of Novi Sad, and I will present you our facilities and our university as should. Okay. First of all, I will give you a brief presentation of the University of Novi Sad. You probably know that Novi Sad is a part of Republic of Serbia, and we are located at the north of Serbia. Novi Sad is the second biggest city in Serbia and the capital city of Vojvodina. University of Novi Sad, beside Novi Sad, is located in other three towns, Zrenjanin, Sombor, and Subotica. I will give you later more information about these towns. And the University of Novi Sad was founded in 1960, and it is the second biggest university in Serbia. The rectoral building, you can see on the screen, was built in 2013, and it is modern multifunctional building designed by our professors from Department of Architecture. The University of Novi Sad is mainly located in campus on the left bank of River Danube. You can see the sketch of our campus. And we got 14 faculties and 3 research institutes. You can see on the slide a list of our faculties: Faculty of Philosophy, Agricultural, Law, Technology, Faculty of Economics, Faculty of Technical Sciences, or better to say Faculty of Engineering, Faculty of Medicine, Science, Arts, Civil Engineering, and so on and so on. Most of these faculties are located in Novi Sad, except Faculty of Economics, Faculty of Civil Engineering, and the Teacher Training Faculty in Hungarian language, which are located in Subotica, at the very north of Serbia. And also Mihailo Pupin Technical Faculty is located in Zrenjanin, and Faculty of Education is located in Sombor. The institutes, such as Institute of Lowland Forestry and Environment, Institute for Food Technology and Bioscience Institute are located in Novi Sad. The University of Novi Sad, with almost 50,000 students and 500 employees, is one of the largest education and research centers in Serbia and in Central Europe also. This is the second biggest university in Serbia. The Belgrade University is the biggest one. Our university belongs to the group of comprehensive university, which are characterized by providing nearly all fields of science and higher education. You can see historical center of Novi Sad. It is full of coffees and shops. The University of Novi Sad offers around 320 accredited study programs at all levels, from bachelor, master, and doctoral studies, carried out mostly at the faculties and also within the University Center for Interdisciplinary and Multidisciplinary Studies and Research. We are ranking on many ranking lists regarding the world and the European university. We are also ranking at the Shanghai ranking list at the position 901 till 1000. The best position has we have in field food science and technology and hospitality and tourism management, where we are ranked at place 201 till 300. Now I will give you a brief presentation of university research infrastructure, which consists of libraries, laboratories, scientific centers, and knowledge transfer centers. When we speak about libraries, so each faculty has their own library, and also we have central library at our university. And University of Novi Sad has about 250 different laboratories. I will present you a few samples of some laboratories. All of these laboratories are located in faculties and institutes because we are integrated studies and we are union of the 14 faculties and 3 institutes. At the Faculty of Technology, there are different kinds of laboratories for food engineering, biotechnology, chemical engineering, pharmaceutical engineering, and material engineering. Also, we have one, I can say, the world famous institute. This is Institute for Food Technology. And this institute has different laboratories for food assessment and analysis and for the development of the food technology. Also at the Faculty of Technical Sciences, we have a laboratory for biomedical engineering. This is a new laboratory which deal with the development new biomedical devices. And we have a close cooperation with some spin-out companies and produce prototypes and new developed devices for electrical stimulation, for acquisition of electrophysiological signal, or for control of prosthesis, and for feedback of prosthesis. Also at the Faculty of Technical Sciences, there are a lot of laboratories for production engineering, where are the machinery for production and the assessment of different mechanical products. We also have, also at the Faculty of Technical Sciences, laboratory of nano and flexible electronics. This laboratory is very, very active at the European projects, and they have equipment for production, flexible and textile electronics This is their main activity. Also at the Faculty of Technical Sciences, there is laboratory for geomatics, which has a very high technology equipment for geoinformation recording and processing of the geoinformation data and so on and so on. At the Faculty of Philosophy, there is a laboratory of experimental psychology, which is equipped with different devices and systems and software for analysis of human behavior. Some of presented devices are for eye tracking or EEG recording devices. Our medical faculty, Faculty of Medicine, has a lot of laboratory for different purpose. And also the Clinical Center of Vojvodina is a scientific base of the Faculty of Medicine. Faculty of Medicine built a new building, and it is open this year and equipped with various laboratories. Some of these laboratories are presented in this slide. Faculty of Sciences has also a lot of laboratory for chemistry, physics, biology, and so on and so on. You can see here some laboratories of physics, from nuclear to other physics of material and so on and so on. And finally, Bioscience Institute is I can say the very known institute in Europe regarding the biotechnology. The Bioscience is originally formed within the Faculty of Technical Sciences, but it is now independent institute and a member of University of Novi Sad. This institute was proclaimed by the European Union as one of the 30 research institutions in Europe with greatest potential in the field of biotechnology. And its project, Anteras, was best ranked in Europe in 2016 year. The main activity of this institute is smart agriculture and sustainable agriculture. And this institute is very well equipped, and he has its own building. You can see on the left part of the screen. This is new building built this year, opened this year, and they have a very high-tech equipment in there. There are also some center of excellency, which are part of our university. There are vibroacoustic and signal processing center, also mathematical research mathematical center of research for research of non-linear phenomenon, and reproductive endocrinology and signaling center. How we handling incoming request for facility usage is pretty hard question. The University of Novi Sad, as I said before, is non-integrated university, and the research facilities are property of our members, faculties and institutes. And each faculty and institutes has their own rules regarding the usage of their facilities. They are open to any kind of cooperation, mainly on common research project. And most of this cooperation of usage of their facility is through the common project of some consortium which are part of this project. Of course, our faculties and institutes are ready to share their equipment and their resource, and all requests should be addressed to the University of Novi Sad, and we will handle as the best as possible with the corresponding faculties. Regarding the fees and costs of usage of this equipment, we have two types of laboratories. First type is accredited laboratories, which provide assessment and certification service for the industry and companies, and they have their own price list and commercial services. But the other kind of laboratory is more interesting for this conference is research laboratories, and there is no some specific price list for these laboratories. These laboratories are mainly used for common research projects with the research consortia, and however, faculties and the university are willing to provide service for specific requests, and in our alliance, and we can discuss about this lately. Also about IP rights, there are no specific rules about handling IP rights at the University of Novi Sad. The handling of IP rights is very flexible on our university and mainly specified in consortium agreement for specific research project. As I said, we mostly share our equipment and our resource with the consortium, within the consortium of the project, and in that case, all fees are covered by project budgets, and there is no need for this. And also in these consortium agreements are specified handling of IP rights. And also all university members and researchers can handle IP rights according to specific situation and according to agreement which they establish with their partner at the other university. The University of Novi Sad doesn't have any specific rules, as I said at the beginning. If you have any questions, you can reach me by this email, and also you have a website of our university. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nicola. We're just going to see if the audience has any questions for you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eric Cassan, Paris-Saclay University. So this is very nice to see, you're not the first, but to see the presentations of the so-called new members, because you are no more new members since January 1st. Just to tell you that indeed EUGLOHRIA was a project, is a project with 5 universities, but now we know that the Alliance has 9 members. And again, we are very eager indeed to collaborate with all the 4 new members. It will take different shapes, different ways to proceed. There are many opportunities, and the platforms are part of what we can do together, perhaps bridging also putting a bridge between education and research, because some students may be welcome on the platforms. I don't know if this is a practice, something that you practice at UNISAD, at Novi Sad, sorry. Anyway, so you see there is a dynamics, 5 plus 4, now we are 9, definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again, Professor Nicola. Now we are joined by, last but not least, Paul Vegard Storheyer from the Arctic University of the University of Norway. Paul, as soon as you can, please go ahead with your presentation. Thank you very much.
Yes. Hi, everyone. And yeah, nice to see you. I don't see you that well, but it will be nice anyway. A very interesting presentation so far, and I learn a lot. So I will share my presentation. Yeah, so the Arctic University of Norway, we are also a new member, and we have around 17,000 students, 6 faculties. We have
We
approximately...
are seeing presentation view. If you can change to duplicate slide.
Yes, let me see.
At the top, the second one.
The second one I'm more used with, okay.
Yes.
This and then duplicates. Great, thank you for telling me. Yeah, excellent. And we have a budget of around 400, a little bit more than 400 million euro. And as you can see, we know that Norway is far to the north, and our institution is the northernmost university in the world. And we have campuses all over northern Norway, and our campuses are very far from each other. So from Kirkenes, in the longest closest to the Russian border, it's more than 1,000 kilometers to Mo i Rana. So we have some challenges there also, but possibilities as well. Yeah, our strategy is called ELU, Developing the High North, and ELU is Sami for eagerness to work. And you can see the figure next to on the right-hand side. We are focusing on the Arctic and the High North. That's the main point. And the geopolitical situation in the world now is making this even more interesting. Then the major societal challenges, and last but not least, the talent development and diversity of both our students and staff. So I will just go a little bit through what other areas that we are working on, and we'll start in space. So Tromsø is situated very ideally for studies of the Arctic and the ionosphere and so on. So we have some big companies here that have mostly all of the satellites that are going over the Arctic is owned by these companies, and we have a strong collaboration with them. In the Arctic, the climate is changing more rapidly and also to a larger degree than everywhere else in the world. So a lot of our research areas are focusing on different aspects of climate change. For instance, the top left one that I have there is the Faculty of Law. They are focusing, among other things, on how the rules of the law of the sea is changing when the sea level is rising, when the ice is melting, when new routes are opened up, and for instance, if you want to have electro power like windmills in the sea and so on. And it's very interesting, and so there's a lot of different variety in climate research. In Norway, one of the biggest industries are fisheries and aquaculture, and UiT was one of the first universities that was studying aquaculture. We were instrumental in developing the vaccines that make this industry now practically free of antibiotics. And of course, pollution and everything else that the human interference with the sea is also something that we study. One of the most interesting topics are people, of course, and people in the north is something that we study a lot. We have a responsibility at national level for the indigenous people of the north, the Sami and the Kven people. And we're studying also like how can you do safe operations in the north? How can we increase the tourism and do it in a sustainable way and so on? But here we will have to focus on the health. And our biggest faculty and almost half of the university is focusing on health and people. The last one I would like to mention for you is we have some large projects on how to find interesting molecules in the sea, and if you can find stuff that we could use for like enzymes in medicine, drugs, so on. And this is a big thing also at the UiT. So then I will go over to our research infrastructure. And I will say that one of the things that our university has been in the forefront of in Norway and also in parts internationally is to have infrastructure that enable us to have open science. And I think that's a very important to all disciplines to have this. So we have worked a lot on this topic, but I will not go into detail. We have, of course, a lot of other infrastructures. We are a comprehensive university that has almost all teaching all in the disciplines that there is. But I will not go into detail on these infrastructures. So I will focus on the health infrastructures and particularly those that I think it will be easier to collaborate on. And I think the population-based studies and the databases is a very important or important infrastructures. So we have 4 big longitudinal population-based studies within health. And I will start with the Tromsø study. That is the biggest of them and it also is the oldest. It was initiated in 1974. And the background was that there was a lot of health problems related to the heart in the north. And so the first population study was done then. And it has been done many times afterwards. We are now planning the 8th study. And it has an enormous amount of data for all types of health issues. And it's been gradually increasing its width of what kind of topics that are addressed. And it has obviously been a very big factor in how to build science and quality at our institution, because this was just 2 years after our institution was founded. And it's a very popular study. As you can see that the participation rate is very high and people are really eager to take part because they look at this as part of a check that you do for your car. This is a total check of you every time you're part of it. Then we have the Norwegian Women and Cancer study. And it is a little bit younger, established in 1991. And you can see on the right-hand side the different collection periods. It also takes a lot of different factors into consideration. And since 1998, it was part of the World Health Organization's European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition. So the Saminor survey is focusing on health and living conditions in areas with Sami and Norwegian settlements. And the first study there was in 2003. We had one in 2012 and 14, and then we are planning the 3rd one now. And it is a special focus on health and living conditions of Sami population. And this indigenous perspective makes this a unique bank nationally, but also internationally. And it has a lot of attention, this survey. Then we have, we see that there is few health population studies that focuses specifically on young and how life in early age affects then later health. And so this is heavy focus on the young people, and we have had now 3 population studies, and we are seeing really interesting stuff that we can see that things that you do early in your life is influencing what's happening later and so on. So all these 4 population surveys then, they are collaborating on having a core unit for management, like some of you other universities have. And they were also very early on using a tool called EUGLOHRIA that they developed from scratch. And now everything is managed through this system. So you can get access to what kind of data is there. And you can pay and you can order data, and it's very quick to get the data out of this population. So, and it's also fixed prices based on if you have like a student that is going to do a master thesis, or if it's a PhD student, or if it's a different study. So this is a very easy access facilities, all the 4 population data. And all of them also have a core facility biobank. So they store human biological material, and it has been collected then since 1974. It's also possible to buy a place in the biobank and so on. So it's a hotel function also in this biobank. And then the last infrastructure I'm going to show to you is a little bit different. It's the preclinical PET core facility. It's a completely new building. You see the PET imaging center in the center of the photo, and you see parts of the university hospital and parts of the UIT, the Arctic University. You can see it's very well situated. It is then a very close collaboration between the university and the hospital, so both institutions are part of the PET imaging center. There's also a very neat connection between the animal housing facility and the PET imaging center, and this is quite unique. So there's not many places that you have the same ability to do all the same things as we do here. So I don't know exactly what all these machines, because I'm not in this discipline. But the animal housing, this is for the small animals, but we also have a large animal facility as well. It's very new, the equipment here. So it's actually one of the few examples where we have money from the industry that was paid for this and from a private donor. And we combine here both animal and human studies, and we can also do parts of the treatments can be done in these facilities. So the clever thing is that you can have both preclinical, clinical, and radiochemistry in the same facility. And with the inclusion of the animal housing, it makes things very easy. So big questions about how we are handling incoming requests. And I mean, this is very different depending on the infrastructure. So for some of our infrastructure, it's very individualized. So it's an employee or a contact person that you take contact with basically through email. Then the next level would be responsible management units. And they often have online forms, and they have more systematic approach to how to give access to the infrastructure. And then the last is often a combination between the management unit, and also they have IT solutions that I explained also about the population data surveys. They have this kind of, so everything is included in one system, and it's also the legal aspect is also handled very well there. So many of our infrastructures have guidelines for applicants that want to use our infrastructure. And we also have a request when it comes to like population surveys. If some other institutions would like to be included in the population survey, we have also specific requirements for them, and a very streamlined process to get part of this. But it's important for us that the data that are used here are also becoming part of the bigger data sets, so that other researchers later on, there is an embargo, but later on, other people could also use the same data. Same for the cost models. It's of course a little bit different. There may be fees for applying for access to the infrastructure, because it takes time to evaluate the projects that are going to using the infrastructure. So this is something that some of the infrastructure charges for. But normally the cost of deprivation of the equipment and the cost of housing and the running cost are the basis for the access. And depending on what kind of setup you have, there will maybe a markup then. For instance, if it is an industry, it will be a markup so that you get onto terms of market price, basically. But if it's a collaborative effort, then it will be lower price. And we also are very strict on that the results from the project must be published publicly. We are a publicly funded university, and we would like that or actually we are legally bound that everything that we do should be published. Of course, you could secure the IP, but then you have to publish. And the general rules about the co-authorship applies. Also about IP rights, normally it's the general thing. In Norway, the universities own the IP rights. So we will take ownership of our part of this, and then we'll reimburse our employees, and other institutions have other policies and have to be responsible for their researchers. There's not that often that we have non-collaboration use of our infrastructure, and that's because if you collaborate with us, you will have the lower charge of the you pay less actually. So often that makes also the industry want to have us on board when we do this. But in the cases that happens, we have individual agreements about this. And that was my presentation. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Now we'll open the floor to some questions, if there's questions from the audience. Well, thank you again, Paul, and we'll hope to see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, for the plenary session that will conclude today's session, we'll welcome to the stage Professor Zoltán Konya, Vice Rector for Scientific Affairs and Innovation from the University of Szeged, that will talk about the EUGLOHRIA project results and the creation of the Excellence Core Facilities Network, its overview, perspectives, practices, and challenges. Thank you very much, Professor Zoltán.
Thank you very much. What should I? Perfect. So I will talk about the VP3 of the EUGLOHRIA, and this is the VP3 is the.
Just one question. Can you please speak closer to the mic?
No.
No.
I even feel myself bad because I'm moving, and if I'm moving like that as normal, then you cannot hear me. Sorry. Perfect. So I will talk about the sharing infrastructures in the EUGLOHRIA, and I can see my next slide, but oh, perfect. So these slides were shown already by either Joachim or Frederick. So I would just go to the. You can see the nice faces as Eric already showed. So the VP3, the main aim is establishment of an Excellence Core Facility Network. I mean, the share, the possible shared infrastructure within the 5 partners. Now we have 9 partners. So in the VP3, we had 5 deliverables. And the first point was to identify the to shareable infrastructures. Let's say we have a timeline of the work package, and the first deliverable was to put together the white book of the EUGLO Excellence Core Facilities. I mean that collect the Excellence Core Facilities from the 5 partners. And I would like to share in the next couple of minutes really technical data, how we did this kind of work. So we had to prepare a template for data collection, and then sharing this template within the partners, and then collecting them, and we have to use it and then modify it and sending back and asking back. I mean, it was a few months, but finally. We collected lots of data. You don't see it, but this kind of data we have, and you can imagine that more than 800 lines and several columns. So it was the first step was to make this Excel, and then sending it and just filling it, and then collecting it, and then correcting it, modifying it, sending back, asking back, and so on and so on. And finally, we had the Excel, and we had to. This is a lots of data, and we had to work on these data. And we put together the vibe book in this structure. So as Joachim mentioned already, it's almost an 800 pages white book, and it's e-book because it would be quite thick on there. But we made a printout just to see that how it looks like. So it looks like very nice. And the first couple of pages, you can see the first, let's say 50 pages is the introduction. You can see some short presentation from the 5 partners, the methods of collecting these data, some conclusions from the individual universities, some general conclusion, and then the list of the white book, list of the core facilities. Every core facility is 1 page, actually in a structure, as you can see somewhere here. So section 1 is the general information. You can see what we collected, and the keywords, and so on and so on. So we have a method how to collect it. So I mean that it would be nice to share this method with the 4 new partners, and let's see how can we make a joint database, let's see, from this thing. And this is how the 1 page looks like in the white book. You don't see the point, but the points were here showed. And then, of course, since we've collected lots of data, we can make some conclusions of what is the main topic of the in the 5 partners of the ECFs, the sectors, and so on and so on. You can see mainly it's life sciences, of course, since the EUGLO Alliance, the main topic is the global health, and definitely the collected ACFs are joining to this focus, and then these ECFs are mainly in the life science and health field. We made some institutional conclusions. This is, you can make a word cloud from it, or you can make this kind of things. For me, the word cloud it's a bit better, but now we have this in this slide, so you can see the 5 partners and what kind of main topics we can find in the 5 partners. I can send it, this presentation, it's here, so I mean that you don't need to take pictures from that. And of course, we can make the big global picture of the EUGLOHRIA or the EUGLO, because this is actually the same in this manner. And you can see that this is the main, let's say, conclusion in a kind of word cloud like presentation. So mainly, of course, this imaging and structural biology, clinical or practical exploration, and so on and so on. And of course, something at the back, let's say, like physicochemistry or basic biology, of course, what you need always to build your clinical or practical things to something. And then we made a workshop on this white book, and there was this was the program of the short program of the workshop. So we actually, in this point, we let's say closed the first deliverable. Also, as Eric mentioned already, this is a living organism. This database. So I mean, it's changing every day. Let's say, so there are new partners, new ECFs are coming, or something is removed from the database. So I mean, it's really a living database. So it's always changing. The second point was, it's very. I mean, the first point was easy when we realized that we have to make a memorandum of understanding from all these things, because it seems to be very easy, but when you start working with the 5 partners together, then it came out that it's definitely very, very difficult, because the lawyers are different from university or from country to country, and it's not easy to work with lawyers. So actually, this is let's say the short table of content of the MOU. And it became, so for example, one partner wanted a very simple MOU. The other partner wanted a very complicated MOU. So we had to play with these things. But finally, the ladies were very clever. So we made a MOU at the end of a few months. And then we have an MOU for the EUGLO for the 5 partners. And of course, we have to extend it now for the 9 if we can continue this work. The third deliverable is we had to make a handbook of operational regulations. This was also not easy, and we saw in the last 2 days, let's say, that every ACF is working differently a bit or a lot. So I mean that it's changing from the university to university, and it's not. I mean that even in Hungary we have different rules in different universities how we handle an ECF. There was a study tour to AMBL. Everybody showed this picture, so I can show it as well. So when that all the partners were there, and we saw how the AMBL is using this infrastructure, since the AMBL is somewhere behind the project, behind the University of Szeged. So we tried to see again what kind of rules we have to fulfill, what kind of so what the partners want, and then we tried to put together these things. It was not easy at all, but actually for the second workshop we put together some kind of joint effort that how can we make this book, how to use each other's infrastructure. And this is the workshop the second workshop topic, that's a short topic, the aim and the result of the VP3. You saw this picture. So this was the workshop 2 again. So the problem with when the UGLO started, one of the first or second or third, whatever, at the beginning there was a very important thing, that how can we make joint efforts in anything, education, in the EUGLOHRIA, in research, whatever. And then we had to figure out that, for example, just one, that how to make, for example, a joint PhD program. And after half a year, just we figured out that it is not possible to make a joint PhD program for all the 5 partners. We can make bilateral things. So actually, when we wanted to make the handbook of operational regulations, we found almost the same, that it's quite easy to make bilateral things, but for what is good for all the 5 partners, it was almost impossible. So we had to just remove parts what was not acceptable for some partners, and finally what remained that became the handbook of the operational regulations. And of course, we made a website where all the accessible core facilities can be found. We have to take care of the data management, the IP rights, a very short part of the IP rights, and of course the suggested cost model, which became at the end became that everybody is using their own cost model, because we cannot put together and make one cost model, which is, I think, it's impossible. And then the fourth deliverable was making the web page and the standard proposal scheme. We put together everything on a web page. Frederick from Paris-Saclay helped a lot for us to make it, and we put together the web page, but no, it's in Hamburg, I think. So they no. In Munich, sorry. So in Munich they are operating the web page of this ACFs. So we had to make the table of content, and then the standard proposal scheme. We made a template again, sent it to the partners, filled it, collected it, and also and so on and so on. And then we put all the information to the website, and now you can use the alliance can use the website now. All the partners. You can see some pictures of the website and then how to use it. It's a very easy, user-friendly website. Eric already talked about this matchmaking program, so I don't want to talk about this one. And what is still to do in the VP3 is the pilot studies. So we, as Joachim mentioned and Eric mentioned as well, we have chosen up 10 or 11, I don't know how many pilot studies. You can, in this morning, some of them talked about their joint project, and actually at the final conference in Munich in December, I think, they will talk about as well, and then we can make the conclusion of this part of the VP3 of the EUGLOHRIA. So actually, what we the main objective was to make this kind of white book, so to collecting the shareable infrastructure. We were able to do this. We tried to put together an MOU, which we made, and then we have now the MOU for the EUGLO 5 partners, so we have to extend it for the 9 partners version. we were able to put all the data on a website and it's searchable, and actually now that we have the possibility to use each other's infrastructure, and we have 10 pilot project which is running right now, and then we are waiting for the conclusions from the pilot projects, and we can put together the knowledge of what is coming from the projects. So I don't want to talk about this because Joachim already talked about how the money came from the VP2 and VP3, from the research and from the infrastructure work package. This is the final point. What we have to do in the VP3 is put together a summary, an assessment report, how the whole thing was working. This is what I mentioned already, that we are waiting for the 10 pilot projects. They are just put together we have to put together their knowledge, how it was working, how something was not working, and we have to figure out that what is the possible mechanism, what could work in the future, in the near future and the midterm future in the alliance on sharing infrastructure and joint research project. And this will be the content. We already decided that this will be the content of the summary assessment report on the core facilities. So this is shortly what I wanted to tell you. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, I will try to answer it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Zoltan. I'll open the floor for some questions. Yes, Anne.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation. I have just one small question regarding your deliverables, like the white book or the memorandum of understanding. Where can we find this as new partners? I was looking at the webpage, and I think these kind of materials are not included there, right?
She will answer you. Actually, there is still a discussion in the EUGLO, what is public and what is not public.
But as a new partner, we're not public anymore. So
the EUGLOHRIA is for 5 partners.
Yeah.
So this is a side project of the EUGLO, but this is a autonomous project. Actually, it's an autonomous European project. So this is, we have to discuss it. Eric is, let's say, the contact person between the EUGLO and the EUGLOHRIA, at least. And then please, Eric.
Okay.
Thank you for the question. Indeed, this is very relevant. You're right, Nico, so the colleagues from Szeged University, some deliverables are public, some others are private, and we have probed the European Commission project officer to see to which extent the confidential deliverables could be disseminated to the 4 partners having entered the alliance on January 1st, and the reply was formally no. But there is a way to alleviate the difficulty. I think we have to simplify a little bit, to reshape a little bit the format of the documents, and doing so, I think we could easily transmit you, give forward to you the most of the content of the deliverables and of the methodology, because this is in the interest of the alliance, definitely. But our project officer gave us a very formal reply, because from an administrative point of view, what is confidential is confidential. And we would have to vote to change the status of each deliverable from confidential to public in order to disseminate it even to the 4 members of the alliance. So this is still something that we have to do. We have to discuss that at many times, how to simplify a little bit the confidential deliverables to disseminate them to the 4 new members. It seems that there is a motivation, that there is a need to do so, and so we have to do it.
Yeah, I mean for me, I'm a chemist. Simply, we will not send you the final document, just the -1. This is how I translate it. I mean that you will see definitely the almost final document, since this is aimed of the EUGLO 2.0. Yeah.
So, any other questions? So, before we leave, thank you very much, Professor. This concludes today's conference on the LP3 conference. Tomorrow we'll have the European Symposium of Innovation in Global Health. The location will be the Faculty of Economics, very nearby, so that's without allocation tomorrow. And we'll start at 9:30 with a message from our rector. So I hope to see you all tomorrow at 9:30 there. We'll have a coffee break right now, while you can chat among each other and have a little coffee break. And we'll have a dinner. I don't know if everyone is registered for dinner or not, but there's a dinner at 7:30. So we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.